Hello, this is Rory Donovan Scott, and you are watching Trash Talk. So 2 nights ago, I actually got an opportunity to see the new Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal film Life. Directed by Daniel Espinosa, and written by Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese. This movie's been getting a bit of notice lately, so I figured I'd give you my 2 cents worth on it. So tonight's episode will be called, Does Life Suck? Before I get into this review, I will tell you that there are spoilers ahead, so if that's something that upsets you, you probably shouldn't watch this. You've been warned. In summation, this film is about 6 astronauts on an international space station that receive a capsule from Mars containing a single-celled organism that they later name Calvin. Horror elements come into play when they quickly realize that this organism grows at a rapid rate, soon becoming too big for them to contain. It breaks free and starts wreaking havoc on them all. Put simply, this movie is an Alien ripoff. And the tiny little bits of plot that it didn't straight steal from Alien, it managed to steal from other classic sci-fi horrors. So basic general plot, crew of astronauts have an alien passenger on board that's picking them off one by one for its own means of survival. Now this creature came from Mars, but chances are it didn't originate in Mars. It was probably some sort of parasite that wiped out the planet. You know, like the beginning of Species 2, or Ghosts of Mars. Being that Calvin is a collection of single-celled organisms working together anonymously, it's able to sort of grow the more it eats and digest things from any part of its body and reconstruct itself, like some sort of fusion of the Thing and the Blob. Now, isolation monster movies typically are a genre of film I like, but this film doesn't have an original bone in its body. I mean, it's got a fantastic cast. Of course, all of the characters are paper thin and completely expendable. It was shot really well, the special effects are really nice to look at. Ultimately, this movie is kind of the Lazarus effect of isolation sci-fi horror. Great cast and crew, completely wasted on a bullshit script. Probably the most interesting character in the movie is Ryan Reynolds. Of course, he is, spoilers, the first person to die. At first, at least, it's a little bit suspenseful because Calvin is small enough that he can sort of fit into grates easily and he could be in your suit and you wouldn't know that he's there. But then when he gets to about the size of a poodle, it sort of just becomes your typical run away from the big scary monster as it's trying to eat you horror film. We see a bunch of great actors get picked off one by one. Ultimately, the 2 characters that are left in the movie are the characters that you care the least about. And then I guess with the ending, they try and set you up with some sort of twist ending where one of them was supposed to drift off into deep space on a shuttle with the alien while the other one escapes to Earth, but for some reason the pods got mixed up. Of course, you know, while one's landing and the other one's shooting off, it doesn't show you which one is which. So of course, when the one lands on Earth in water and boats start coming up to it, you take a look inside the window and see that it's the guy with Calvin all around him. He's like, don't open the door, while the other one's fucking drifting off into outer space. And that's how the movie ends. Surprise! It sets you up for it. It's a completely wasted ending. Ultimately, what would have made the ending better is if they show them approach the escape pod, the people on the boat approach the escape pod, and then they look in the window, but then it ends. You don't see what's in the window. So then it's left up for the audience to decide whether or not the boats got switched, sort of leaving it up in a sort of an Inception ending. But no, typical run-of-the-mill horror film, didn't do anything. And I love horror films, but this movie was just generic. Very well polished, well acted, well directed. Espinosa did a fantastic job with the directing, just the script was garbage. They kill off the characters in order from the one you like the most to the one you like the least. And when I say these characters are garbage, it's not an attack on the actors. Like I said, they did as well as they could with the paper-thin character development they were given. Also, the atmosphere could have sold me on this film if it weren't for the fact that the camera randomly cut to POV shots from the alien's perspective with the vision all distorted, fucking Predator style. It completely removed me from the movie. It was sort of like the final sequence of Doom when it switched to first person. But to be fair, I'm kind of harping on this movie. It was shot really well, the acting was good, the directing was good. I just wanted more. You always want more out of sci-fi horror. Sci-fi horror really needs to be cerebral, and all of the cerebral questions that this film asked, they literally had to state with one of the characters straight spelling it out. Oh, life means that something has to be destroyed in order for something else to live. Yeah, we get that. We didn't need you to spell it out for us, or maybe we did, because you didn't do a good enough job just conveying that through the actions of the film. If I had to give it a 0 to 10 ranking, I think I'd rate it at a solid 6.5. That is low for a sci-fi horror. You know we live in a crazy world where Daniel Espinosa can direct a movie that I enjoy less than a Paul W.S. Anderson film. Event Horizon! Anyway, that's my little rant. Sorry if I offended you. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. If you think I'm full of shit, tell me in the comments section. Regardless, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, have a great day.